Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkazunky. Welcome to the next episode of the Pelicans, and oh boy, do we have a game today. So we're going up against the Cavaliers, who have the third best record in the NBA, and we currently have the second best record in the NBA, only one game behind the NBA leading Oklahoma City Thunder, who I'm not sure what the record is, but it's like 40 and 15. It's in that range. Those are not the exact numbers, but it's roughly that. So we're going up against, one of the best teams in the NBA, probably the best team out of the East. Most likely, if we make the finals, we'll be facing this team in the finals, but anything can happen with injuries. So we're starting off the game here. We are playing in New Orleans, so we're playing at home, and therefore we are the favorites to win the game. I imagine it would be the other way around if we were in Cleveland. LeBron would get the game started off with the scoring, and then our scoring would start when Tyreke Evans got a rebound off of a Chris Middleton three-pointer miss, and he put the ball back in, and we're tied up 2-2 early. And man, this game, I just gotta say right now, not wanting to spoil anything, but it does come down to the wire, and this game was a lot of fun. I thought these were two very, very evenly matched teams. The entire game was back and forth. Both teams went on small runs and got a decent 6-8 point lead at times, but two very, very evenly matched teams. Of course, the best player in the world, LeBron, and probably the second or third best player in the world at this point on the other team in Anthony Davis. So two of the league's premier players going up against one another. We get a three there with Chris Middleton, and we're still trying to keep it close early on in the first quarter, but we would get the steal on LeBron. Chris Middleton playing defense on him and throwing the alley-oop to Tyreke. So Chris Middleton is probably our best defender, and of course we put him on LeBron. They didn't really slow him down that much, but I think it's better than having someone like Tyreke Evans on him. LeBron will hit the three there and give the Cavaliers a slight lead, and that's most of what you'll be seeing this entire game is just very slight leads because, of course, it was very back and forth. Kyrie Irving had a pretty good game, too. I was trying to do some user defense on him, and that did not work so well. He hit a three there. Typically, how I like to play defense in 2K is I'll just control the point guard on defense, and every once in a while I'll switch players to try to contest a shot or block a shot, which sometimes pays off and sometimes just results in me getting a foul. But here in the first quarter, LeBron James was just insane. He was going off no matter who was defending him. And we even put Wilson Chandler in the game as well. He would foul LeBron here on the and one jump shot, and he would make the free throw as well. So putting Wilson Chandler in the game did not help slow down LeBron at all. It just led to more points. And then Matthew Dellavedova with the step back three, and he would hit that over Robert Covington. So the Cavaliers have busted open the biggest lead of the game here up to this point by either team, up by 8 points. Robert Covington, a nice two-man game with Robinson, and he would hit the mid-range jumper. Once LeBron went to the bench at the end of the first quarter, the game felt a lot more manageable, but a lot of times when you're playing some of these superstars, especially LeBron James, it does feel like at times that the game just gets away from you. There's not a lot that you can do to stop their scoring. But Anthony Davis, for some reason the Cavaliers thought it was a good idea to switch Matthew Dellavedova onto him. It wasn't, and Anthony Davis coming back into the game, we got our star back in the game as well, and that would immediately pay dividends because we start cutting back into this lead. But LeBron is back into the game after a short rest. He finally misses a shot, which did not happen very often, and we would pull up in mid-range. Chris Middleton in the fast break. We've cut the 8-point lead back down to 2, and we would have a big run of our own here in this second quarter and get the game right back in hand after somewhat losing it in the first quarter. Tyreke Evans would get the dunk. Really bad defense by whoever was guarding him. I think it was Dellavedova at the time. And LeBron would finally get stopped by Chris Middleton, who gets the nice block. Drew Holiday picks up the ball, and he would run in the transition and be able to get the dunk as well. We've tied up the game here, 33-31. I thought J.R. Smith was cherry-picking. He would get an easy basket, but Drew Holiday would not block the shot, but he contested enough to force the missed dunk. And then Anthony Davis would get fouled with the and one. He would make the free throw as well, so we now have a lead. After trailing most of the game up to this point, we're still running in transition with the lob to Chris Middleton from Drew Holiday. He would dunk that, and again, all of the momentum is just going to the home team at this point. Drew Holiday misses a really easy lay-in, but he gets his own rebound, which is great how he can do that. He's really tall and physical for a point guard, so he can just kind of outmuscle other smaller guards for those boards. Tyreke Evans would hit a three, and then Thomas Robinson would blow the layup here. He's being guarded by Kyrie Irving, which is definitely a mismatch there in the post, and LeBron would take advantage in the break. We had a lead for a short period of time. I think the lead went up to 7 points at one point, but we were not able to retain that, unfortunately. But nice pass to Kyle O'Quinn from Robert Covington, and that would just thread the needle there, get us an easy basket. Wilson Chandler was attempting some threes off the bench. That was our primary offense and did not work out for the most part, but Norris Cole with a fading three. I didn't mean to fade there, but pulling back on the stick just to pass the ball in the right direction and going up for a shot at the same time results in a fadeaway. It happens a lot. It's usually annoying, but then when it goes in, it works. So we call a play out of the timeout with a few seconds left in the half for an alley-oop to Thomas Robinson, lobbing it up, and that's one of the first times I've seen not quite a buzzer beater, but at the very end of a half, a lob play. And Thomas Robinson is just incredibly athletic, so you can throw it up to him anytime, and if he's got a window of space, he'll dunk it. But looking at the halftime stats, the Cavaliers are shooting really, really good for three-point range. Us, not so much, but we are out-rebounding them by 7, which is probably the main reason for the 6-point lead at half. LeBron has 24 points. He's just been unstoppable up to this point, much to my chagrin. And the Cavaliers would come out of the half firing on all cylinders. That slight 6-point lead that we have was not going to last for very long once LeBron was back into the game, and he was not stopping after that insane first half. He gets the dunk there. We're not watching the replay, though, because I don't roll that way. But Drew Holiday, who really struggled a lot in that first half, he only had 2 points in the first half, came alive in the second, and you'll see that soon. But Tyreke Evans would hit the mid-range off the pass from Davis here, and I'm trying to guard Kyrie. Not working out so well up to this point with Drew Holiday, but LeBron is driving again. He finds Smith in the corner, who would hit the three, and the Cavaliers get the lead back here for a short period of time. They're up 59-58. And then we have Holiday in transition. He hits the three, and that's only his second bucket of the game. Pay attention to that because it will come key later on. So we're in transition here. Davis would get the pass from Chris Middleton. He would get the dunk, and we got a slight 2-point lead here. A lot of transition buckets happen in this third quarter. There's just a lot of three-point shots taken by both teams, so a lot of long rebounds, and that leads to runouts in the break. And if you have more guys than the other team does on the break, more often than not, that will lead to a bucket. But really bad defense by me. I just could not get around the screen, and Joe Harris would drive to the lane and get the score. I don't really consider my defense great, but for the most part, I can keep the role players from scoring that much. It's usually just the superstars where I get burned here by Kyrie, definitely a superstar. For the most part, though, role players are fairly easy for me to defend, but here at the end of the third quarter, Wilson Chandler would get the excellent release with half a second left. We have a 7-point lead going into the fourth quarter. I think we're looking pretty good, but LeBron James would have other ideas, who's not in the game yet, but that will soon change. Kyrie Irving would get the pass off to Tristan Thompson, who would score, and then the Cavaliers are cutting down this lead in transition. Iman Shumpert, three-pointer, and the lead is down to 2. We would keep this game back and forth very close here in the fourth quarter, and the Cavaliers would finally miss a 3, which was not happening that much, and our rebounding, which was serving us so well in the first half, failed us there, and the Cavaliers get a lead off of the offensive rebound. But then Timofey Mozgov, who was doing so well with the offensive rebound on the other end, plays bad defense. Andre Drummond gets a lay-in, and we have a 1-point lead at this point, but the Cavaliers had more left in the tank. The worst is far from over. So J.R. Smith would hit a 3. That was one drop in the bucket, and they're on an 11-2 run at this point. And I was thinking, man, we got to stop the bleeding because the bleeding continues. But Kevin Love just pulls up with a dude right in his face. He hits a 3. That's a 14-2 run if you're paying attention. And at this point, I really thought the game was just slipping away from us because we could not score and we could not stop the Cavaliers from scoring. But Drew Holiday hit a 3 there, and that is the start of Drew Holiday's heroics in the fourth quarter, who would really help us keep in this game. Chris Middleton would hit a long 2-point jumper. I was hoping for the 3 there, but he had both feet firmly inside the 3-point line, so it didn't work out. Bad defense here. Kyrie Irving just cuts to the bucket and scores, but we're keeping the game close even with the Cavaliers on such tremendous runs. But Drew Holiday, more heroics. He finishes with the and one on Kevin Love, which really wasn't a foul at all if you look at the replay, because Kevin Love was straight up and his arms did not make any contact with Drew Holiday. So bad call by the refs there, but we'll take the benefit of the doubt on that one. Struggle for the rebound, but Tyreke Evans would come up with it, and Drew Holiday would get the pass to Evans. A nice assist there, and the game is tied 92-92. we're getting into clutch time, so we really need our performers to step out. A bad foul here on Timofey Mozgov, who is going to get that dunk regardless of whether he's hit or not, and he would hit the free throw as well. But Drew Holiday would bail us out with another three-pointer. Nothing but the bottom of the net off of the bad defense off the pick and roll. And the game is still close. We haven't been going much to Anthony Davis in this fourth quarter, but that's okay because Tyreke Evans, a rather poor three-point shooter, but he can hit him if he's left that wide open. Just about any NBA player can hit a three if they're that wide open. He would hit. And then Kyrie Irving would miss the three here with about 15 seconds left. They are trying to foul. I saw some of the CPU players going into the animation of attempting to foul, but they missed Davis, and we would get the dunk. And it might have been smarter to hold on to the ball and try to run out the clock a little bit more. I will admit that. J.R. Smith would pull up for two even when they're down three with 3 seconds left, and they're not in the bonus, so I don't think that was super smart for the Cavaliers to do. But what we would do here, we're down by 1 point, but we're just going to run out the clock with Drew Holiday, run away from the Cavaliers attempting to foul, and the game would end just like that, 100-99. A huge win at home versus the Cavaliers, the third best team in the NBA. And Tyreke Evans finally wins the player of the game. And this is a bit of a shock because Anthony Davis has had almost a chokehold over the player of the game position. He wins it almost every single game we win. But finally someone other than Davis wins it. And Tyreke Evans had an incredible game. 26, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Davis had a pretty good game as well, 19 and 10. And Drew Holiday had 16 points, 14 of which came at the end of that third quarter and in the fourth quarter. So he really was the hero, and we would have lost this game if not for his clutch three-point shooting at the very end of the game. And 6 rebounds, 6 assists for him as well. Overall, just a great team effort. Our 3 stars came out to play, and as well as Andre Drummond, who didn't show up as much on the stat sheet, but he was just rebounding very, very well and playing very good defense. So he was very key to the win. But LeBron James had 36. It was not enough as the Cavaliers fall. Kyrie Irving had 18. JR, Mozgov, and Love all added 10. And that's the game. So thank you guys for watching. Great game. Almost an instant classic here against two of the heavyweights in the NBA. And I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.